I was leaving it open for him to go ahead and drop it in. Okay, cool. I got
I
him.
got you. I got
I'll
you.
do it one more time. We got Brian Says Community Outreach Organizer, Wisconsin Voices, and Brian David Bowen for Executive
New
Director of
name.
Wisconsin Voices. What's going on,
Now,
y'all?
to be
Good morning.
fair, yeah, David.
Yeah,
To
hey,
be fair,
I was
a lot
trying to
of
let
people
him
thought
do
I
it.
was David Crawley this weekend.
Oh my
When I was
goodness.
out,
Taking it.
when I was
They get
out
the Davis. They get y'all mixed
community
up.
engagement, right? I'm just out
Yeah.
kicking it and hanging. And
They definitely get y'all mixed up.
Man, listen,
It's a
I got
Who y'all got over there?
distinct
David Crawley? I'm
I got
like,
the
what?
beard,
No,
though.
David Bowen.
Shouts out to my
You
good
said
brother,
it, David. I was
Crawley.
finna say it's
Yeah.
a distinct difference. One got a beard,
You know,
one don't.
it's all good.
I try to let him know. I was like,
I'm
nah,
among good company.
the one with the beard.
And he's doing
So,
big things. He
yeah.
announced that he's running for governor.
Yeah.
Big shouts out to him
Shout out to him.
and
for sure.
his amazing family. They're about to, they're about to do the work for the next number of months. So, as he's already been doing, but big shout out to him. And we got some really great people in the studio.
Yes, we do.
They already y'all are hearing their voices, and I know that y'all are familiar with them because they're very community connected.
Yes, we're gonna go ahead and do some little introductions. Before we got in here, the reason why we're doing this, y'all, we got a big week going on here as far as in the nation. I know we mentioned it. You mentioned last week National Constitution Week and National Voter Registration Week. So tomorrow is it National Voter Registration Day? Is it 2 days from? Is it tomorrow?
It's officially tomorrow.
Yes,
Officially tomorrow.
tomorrow.
All right. So it says it was first celebrated in 2012. So you've been since you've been in the work prior to you even being in the work, you've been celebrating it, huh?
Yes.
Okay. So and it said that it's grown into the largest single day effort to register voters in the U.S. And in fact, that over the last decade, more than 5 million people have been registered to vote on this day alone. It was founded as a nonpartisan civic holiday with one mission, of course, is to make sure that everybody eligible or every American has been eligible to get a chance to, to have their voice heard at the ballot. All right, y'all, go ahead and introduce yourselves this morning. Let's get this interview going. You want her to go first, huh?
You'll put it back on me. Good morning, everyone. This is Evangelist Veronica Stanton. I am the executive director and founder of Share the Love, Inc. And we're here to just raise awareness and just say what we do. Why is voter registration is important to us?
All right.
Hello, everyone. I know y'all know my voice. I am Latoya. I am
Welcome
with
back.
Sharing the Love. I am the program. I am the campaign program manager.
Okay.
And we're out here educating people about voter registration. Voter registration is very important to our communities. It helps with local elections. It also gives you your polling place, and it makes it easier for when you do go vote on election day, where you can walk in, show your ID, get your ballot, cast your vote, activate your power, and you'll be out of there quicker. It's easier to register to vote beforehand, but you also can vote on registration. You can also register on election day, but it's good to register before so you know your polling places.
All right. So we're gonna get to that too. So we're going with the more details. Look, her signature ring. Look, it's right back in the days. We just had a PTSD moment, a flashback.
I thought she was about to pull a sidekick out of that. Remember a sidekick?
It
wasn't a radio show without Toya's phone going on, especially during our campaign that we had going on at Wisconsin Voices at that time. So
first off, let me thank you all for being a partner of Wisconsin Voices.
Absolutely.
And, the great work that you do. It brings together a really big moment of synergy and collaboration, and we're excited for the work that you're embarking on in voter registration as well.
We're excited. We're excited to be a part, for real, to just be able to be in that movement, to just bring awareness, because we're located at 21st and Center. So we right in the heart of the city, and it is about just making sure that our people understand their power. So our slogan this year is "Activate Your Superpower." And then we just go into why is your superpower important. That's your vote, that's your power, that's your voice. It makes a difference when you actually not just register but go to the polls with that and make a difference, because our pushback is, man, they don't make no difference. Sure. Yes it does.
Yeah, I guess you already answered our question. No, it's cool. No, first one was just tell us about Share the Love, but you could tell briefly about Share the Love because we don't got a whole bunch of time with you today, but we got enough time with you. So I just want to make sure that we get the questions answered, but also folks know what you got going on out here. So if they do need to tap in and get somebody registered, they can just pull up on you where y'all at on the streets and just get it going. So so how has the voter registration and what's how's it been? Why is it such a crucial part in building a stronger community, especially in the community that you've been working in? How's that
It's from my point of view, it's very important that, like I said, that our people understand the power that they have when it comes to their ballot. It's a passion for me and Toya both, to make sure that we get it out there, because like they say, it don't matter, but I let them know, and we let them know that one vote can push the decision of the candidates, right? So if you make that change, you can actually see it, but we want you to understand that it's your power. It's definitely your power.
All right, thank you. Toy, you want to follow up behind that, or you got?
Oh yeah.
You was in the zone. I know you kind of running a campaign right now, so my bad.
People
Yeah,
get to,
I understand.
they don't know I was on the radio, so they just
the next question is
like
perfect for you then. Well, what specific challenges do you see around the voter registration in Milwaukee? So, because you've been in the mix pretty heavy.
Say this is not y'all first rodeo either, y'all.
No. Never.
So, what challenges do you see around?
She the champ, though.
Yeah,
she the champ. And I'm glad I got her. Everybody.
So, what's the 2025 registration challenges looking like?
2025 is just making people aware and the frustration of not having their voices heard. Through this past election, a lot of people felt that they were activating their voice and things didn't go their way. So a lot of people be discouraged and they feel like their voice doesn't matter. So that's what is really good to educate people now. Now these times is to educate them on how important their voice is.
I got a question for you real quick. So since when we were out there, we had a lot of kickback and a lot of folks was kind of going against the grain with us in voter registration, whether we were at Juneteenth or some of the other events across the city. But we had a lot of people that registered, over, what was it, 30K in the state, but Wisconsin Voices did, about roughly 3,000 and some change. Have you seen a difference in how people respond to it now since the election has passed with the voter registration? Or do you still feel like it's the same? How some of the engagement that we were having, do you feel like people are more receptive to voter registration now?
It's the same, but then a lot that our current administration is doing, it makes it easier to push back at people. It makes it easier to make a person really stop and listen to you and think about it and change their mind. So a lot we get that same push. We get that same agitation, but then when you agitate them back, like think about 18-year-olds having anybody 18 and older without children having food stamps available for them. That really helps people get through the month. It helps them put food in the household when they don't have an income and don't have for shelter over their head. That really helps when you're staying with someone that you can provide food in the household. So that's a big push. Then the administration was also talking about shortening housing assistance. So that's a big push where you can remind people, do you want him to be able to shorten housing assistance to where it's only 2 years? How would that help a household of 5 that's currently paying $25 to $100 rent, and in 2 years, or if they have been on there more than 2 years, they're cut off and they got to now fend to pay a full rent and also provide and take care of their children, which is now just going back to school. So I think voter registration and the start of school drives is really good because it brings that awareness to parents, all the possible things that you have to go through to get your kids back in school, the shopping, the supplies, making sure their lunches are good, making sure the schools are representing them right, their the school environment, far as the buildings, are they up to code? It's a lot that go on as a parent. So that those are a lot of issues that we can bring up to parents about how important elections is, because people, and I'm gonna say this very clear, of 25 years of doing this work, and David, I know you can vouch for me on when I say this, because you was in the position to create the laws, and people didn't tend to take your election as serious as they did the president, the governor, the mayor, the county exec. The more important positions in your legislation is your state representatives, your senators, your aldermen. And we push back and let people know this because you need to be more involved in those local elections. That's why you feel your voice is not heard.
I agree. Thank you. I appreciate
Amen on
that.
Definitely agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely creates a dynamic where people would call our office all the time and they would ask for something that is done by the county, and I'm at the state, or I'm at the county. Before that, they asking me for stuff that is done at the city, and I'm like, okay, I gotta help educate you on like which government is over which service or which topic. Those really important conversations to have, and not to like shoot people off, but to help usher them through the process. So I totally understand what you're saying when it comes to trying to keep people engaged, but then also showing them that you have even more influence at this level of government, at this level of policy, and by being connected to your legislators at those local levels, your alderman at that level, your county supervisor at that level, you get to really feel like your vote is even heard even more. Your impact is heard even more when you have communication on that level. So I'm glad that you were able to highlight that.
Yes. Thank you.
Appreciate that. All right. I just want to hit the area just as far as accessibility and equity. So what are some of the steps? I'm gonna go with you, Veronica, since you spearheading it alongside your partner right here, partner and
Partnering good, not
partnering
crime.
good, not definitely in good trouble, as John Lewis would say.
Good trouble.
Partner in
Yeah.
good trouble. Shout out to TJC for representing that as well. Good trouble.
She's
So what
definitely
steps?
my partner.
With that being said, what steps are you taking to make sure voter registration is accessible for everyone, especially communities that have been historically underrepresented? So how are you making it accessible? What are some of your ground tactics without sharing them all? Do I need to go to second command over here for the ground tactics?
Oh well, our ground tactics is just be educated on what you're doing, so that when the pushback do come, you're able to give them that knowledge. So those are things. So educating our canvassers to make sure they understand the work that they're doing and why it's important. So when we do have that pushback, they can go on and give them
And be confidently speaking
right. Say this is why this is important.
That's important.
So those, what I'm saying. So educating our canvassers, you have to educate, because some canvassers, we had some that folks be like, no, they just straight shut down. Because they don't know why it's important. They just out here trying to get a check, or they just doing stuff. But to make sure that our canvassers are educated on why we doing it and what makes this so important to us.
Yeah, what's your ground tactics, Toria?
Being available. We go to a lot of high traffic areas. We actually research these areas to see when traffic is the highest. As Veronica said, we also educate our canvassers on knowing how to push back and actually knowing what issues are out there important to the community and listening to people, and also letting people know we have a table that we sit outside our office location, and we register people right in front of the office. So you can come to 2034 West Center, right on the corner. It's a beautiful church. You can come and we will register you there. So and the registration is very easy. As long as people have their ID, we're having registration online. So they take the tablet, they put their information in on their own. They send that information straight to the election commission, and they are registered. In a couple of weeks, they will get their polling location card. And that's what we're educating people on is most important, is getting that polling location card. And letting people know this is the first step to the process. You're actually signing up for the elections to be on the polls, because another thing we educate, and one of our most important steps is we educate people on they purge people every year from the list. If you do not vote in the last two elections, they purge you right off the list. So people need to make sure We check registrations, make sure people are registered, and make sure you know where your polling location is, because that's the most important. I know all of us been out there on get out to vote days and
Boots
at
on the
the
ground.
polls and see people in the polling locations, and they're frustrated because they got to go back and get some information, come back, and I'm not voting. I had to go to work. I had to do this. I got to do this. I ain't got time to be here no whole hour and a half. You had that registration line that day long, and then you have the ward lines long then, because now people got to get in line twice, because they get in the registration line, then they're getting in the their ward line, and then they register. And then they vote. So we're trying to let people know the process, that if you register now, it's easier to go vote on election day. You just get in your ward lane and you pretty much show your ID, get your ballot, and make your selections, put it in the machine, and you're out of there.
And you make a really good point that people don't realize that they went through the process already. They were registered, they did vote, and then all of a sudden, 6 months later, you might have missed 2 elections, and then your information has been taken off, so you got to do it all over again, and it makes the process longer.
You know what's really motivating, and just even thinking about that from what you were saying, is like the Black Voters Matter documentary about just the purging and just how many people just been purged, and then you just see these folks from all these different wards and districts across the country that just was like, this was going on, I bought this house. And if you ever want to see it, y'all just go to Black Voters Matter and just go to YouTube and look up like the voter registration or voter suppression documentary. You'll see it, and you'll see a lot of stories. If that don't ignite a fire in you, just to be like, all right, let me make sure I just vote for the next election, or just at least go and motivate my grandson or my great niece or great uncle or great nephew, whoever around you, because I know a lot of y'all got that energy with y'all great nephews, nieces. Get them registered to vote, man. It's not a game. The ones you playing, daddy to or mom to or auntie to, grandma to. Talk about everything else, man. Make sure they're going to register to vote. And I'm going to say it just like the same way I was saying it the last year and some change doing the show. We just got to make sure that they taking it serious, the one power that they have, and they're not using it right. And we got folks that's all around us in this studio, all the people on this mic that are exercising the right and making sure that folks are being aware of that. So I just had to say that piece.
And I'm going to add to that with the purging. Just for example on what Brian mean about that documentary, just say your name was John James, a simple common name that a lot of people have named their children. John is a beautiful name. James is a beautiful name. 2 first names, but used as a last name sometimes. They will look at that name and say, this person is being fraud in the election commission. It's too many. This John has 2 first names, and it'll be 5 or 6 John James in that neighborhood, and they'll say that that's unbelievable. So they're going to take all of them off and have them come and re-register to make sure all of them actually are John James.
Common name. I seen some awkward names that have lost purges just because they weren't the typical names, and it's a lot of wild names in the city of Milwaukee. So believe me, I worked through the FSET program. I've seen a Machiavelli, I've seen Cavaziers, I've seen Passionettes. There's people that are nieces are 30-year-plus-year-old folks. So if they not registering to vote, they may be purged if they think it's not real. So any other things I want to talk about before we get up out of here? I know we about to take a break.
Just to highlight the numbers, 40 million Americans have moved this year already. That includes people in Milwaukee. And then 4 million Americans have turned 18 or will turn 18 this year too. So the work that y'all do is so important, and we're really appreciative of everything that you guys are doing. And shout out to your canvassers.
Thank you, because that's what's something that we tell our canvassers, and a lot of our canvassers ride around to their friends and neighbors and people that actually, for one, we didn't speak on that either. If you have been if you are a felon and you are off parole or supervision, you can register to vote and activate your power now. If you are a felon and you are no longer on supervision or parole, you can activate your power to vote. But as David, back to what he was saying, we talked to our canvassers about people moving. A lot of people move. Did somebody in your family move recently? If they been there 30 days. That's the key with moving. If a person has been there 30 days, then you can register them to vote. And another thing about this year that's unique, we don't have an election this November. Right. But our next elections are in February and April of next year. So it is important for people to get registered so that we can, and this is to our community. We always say we never have anybody on the ballot that we are interested in. February is the time for you to pick the person that you want to represent you. So register now. So in February, you can pick the person that you want to represent you.
Just that simple.
Thank you. Appreciate
Absolutely.
that.
Real champions in the building.
Thank you.
We really appreciate all that y'all do.
Thank y'all for
How
coming.
big is the team? How many canvassers y'all have?
We have 6 canvassers.
Okay. Okay.
6 canvassers that's thirsty and that's they want to do it. They want to make an impact. That they want to make a change. They
talk to
they
everybody.
Happy. Yeah, they happy.
Yeah, you got some real talkers.
We got some real talkers. We had a little struggle at the beginning, but we got some ones that every time I look at the log, I'm happy. I'm smiling because they're actually out there getting the work done, and they they making it happen. So that's like you say, it's all about the canvassers. You got to have people that wants to work and wants that like to talk. Just you can't be out there and be timid. You can't.
We got one.
The engagement got to be high.
One canvasser out there. She be having people lined up with their IDs. And she called me about an issue. The people be in the background. Yeah, we waiting in line with our ID.
But they happy.
They're engaged.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. Really appreciate it, y'all. Thanks for coming in, and let's keep the collaboration going.
Absolutely.
We love the work y'all do, and want to be supportive.
Definitely checking on y'all as usual.
Share the love is always willing.
Yeah, should have been. I got to pull up on you anyway. I ain't seen you too. So it's always great to see y'all.
Always great to see y'all.
Yeah, all day. You already know. Well, we first guest is about the dough. We got Share the Love in the building.
Yeah, we got
doing the campaign.
2 for today.
Yeah, 2 for 1. So now we got next we got True School coming on with Fidel, and hopefully Shalina will be in the mix with us, talking about what they got going on this year at True School with the school year starting. Absolutely. Be a Voice Radio, Wisconsin Sports. We'll see y'all in a second. All right, y'all. Welcome back to Real Voice Radio, Wisconsin Voices. You are here with Mr. BRYAN Stanton, community outreach organizer, Voices, alongside Wisconsin Voices. And our next guest, Cody D's over there knocking it out the park. They're knocking out the park. I thought about this group before I was in the midst of this type of work. I think I slid down there on some randomness when I was working for the state, and I've seen True School, and I can't remember what I was doing. But anyway, it was a time before I got into the organizing, into the community space heavy like I am now. And yeah,
it sounds like you just found out about them.
Shoot,
So as long as I knew them, I've been like in the mix since True School was a thought, and I was just around. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think for me it's probably been, I don't know, maybe it'd be before the pandemic. I knew that, so I don't know. But
what was the first official year at True School?
2004.
Oh man, it's been a minute then.
Right?
Oh, great. Yeah. So I was 17 years old.
I was saying,
wow,
watching gurus at work.
Oh, so y'all got to start it back then. Well, that's the time for me to ask this perfect question. Then, for folks who don't know about y'all, can give us a quick overview of True School
and introduce yourselves, please.
Yeah. Sure. My name is Shalina Ali, co-executive director of True School.
Fidel, what's good, y'all? Beach, Milwaukee.
Yeah, so we are Milwaukee Center for Transformative Arts and Hip Hop Culture, and our main focus is really centered in youth, education, engagement, arts. But we're an organization that serves the youth, their families, and the greater community. And, you know, just being people that come from Milwaukee and, you know, having deep roots with even those who are sending their young people to us, trusting us with participating in essence, raising them. You know, we want to make sure that we're serving the real needs of the community through this youth engagement experience and the individual needs of those young people as well.
Lovely. All right. You want to start it off or you want me to keep it going?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing that the community knows that have come across both of y'all is that y'all hearts have been in this work for quite some time. They've seen the fruits of the labor that y'all have produced over at True School, and artists from the creative mural side to the DJ side to the even like fashion side. Now you got world-renowned fashion designers like coming out of y'all organization. How does that feel, first off? Do y'all even think about that?
That's a good question. I think it's a continuum. As you saying that, I'm thinking about also we come from a certain lineage in this city. Every time I'm here at this station, I think about that lineage of work, of word warriors, of individuals who have paved the way and cut through the noise. And Milwaukee is fortunate to have a very immaculate, elaborate, elite level of eldership in the community that have done a lot of work. And so we come from deep roots of creative organizing in the community, educators, mobilizers, and you know, hip hop is a continuum of that. And so it's an honor to have the time and space of True School to could carry on a bigger conversation that is about development. It is about awareness and education. It is about all those other great things that you talked about from the creative aspect of entrepreneurship. But really this conversation about how we solve the problems in the community, how we issue the solutions in the community, especially through the future, through our young people. We were trusted at a very young age by a lot of great elders.
Yes, we were.
They put us on the front line. Matter of fact, we just took the front line and they said, all right, go. And so, you know, I just think about that as you talking about some of these youngsters in the continuum. It's an honor to do what we do as co-executive directors at True School, because it's connected to so many different things in the city, so many individuals in the city, so much history and deep-rooted connectivity in the city. So Yeah, thank y'all for bringing us here.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Honors
it's such a yeah, it definitely is such an important piece to the city. You know, that you have something as creative as a true school, especially in a hub or in a city like Milwaukee, where we have so many exciting groups that you just, if you really not tapped in, you really don't know. And like I said, and I didn't know about it. Like David said, 17 since he was 17, so I was a little late on it. And some things that you kind of pass over, not paying attention to over the years is True School is definitely one, because I'm a big hip hop head and I definitely am a creative. I got a long line of activism and creative people in my family that have done a lot of things here in Milwaukee. So trying to engage or continuously breaking down, as I always say, the silos here for folks to know about groups like y'all. And thank you all for taking that time today too.
Thank you.
Yeah, I want to talk about youth engagement a little bit. How y'all feeling about that? I know it's high. There's a lot of things going on right now. I know you saying that you got some new events coming up, or do you want to wait for the event stuff? Or
I mean,
No,
one of the
that's
things that makes
cool.
Milwaukee special is that our summers are influenced by organizations like y'all, and the culture of the summer is built around, I feel like, hip hop and engaging young people. So please dive into that.
Yeah,
trueschool.org, TRUESKOOL.org. You can follow us on all the medias. True School 414, TRUESKOOL 414. Just so you can have some context while we on, follow along with us. True School is definitely, honored to collaborate with so many different organizations. We downtown, one of the few, if not the only, youth serving creative arts organization downtown that young people can come through after school sessions, summer sessions, for internships, for training. And that network that we're able to fuel goes back into the communities, goes back into all over the city and beyond. And so working with so many different artists, serving as an agency ultimately for event activation, public collaboration, in-school educational residencies, and even working with some of the great groups like Wisconsin Voices that just left here to help facilitate amplifying the media. How can we help share the message of some of these great groups doing great work, but maybe they're not tapped into young people, maybe they don't have the tools or the frequency of that conversation to get the message out here. Great studies, great work, great initiatives. How does it reach our high school students? How does it reach the middle school students? How does it reach the youth and families in the city that's, a lot of times online, but you have to get to them where they at, meet the people where they at. And I think hip hop does a great job of meeting people where they at.
Yeah. And we are located downtown, but we also make sure that we extend our reach into the community. We're a great reason for young people from all over the city to have a reason to go downtown with a purpose and to feel like they have something that makes them belong downtown. We feel like that's super important. But right now, for instance, shout out to Mahala Pink, Naya, and Jasmine, who are right now putting a mural up on Cesar Chavez. They started this weekend. There was a good series of community engagement opportunities to really ask folks like what they would want to see in a mural. And the response has been pretty amazing. So like David, you asked me how my weekend was. I was like, it's great because we were out with community. We were able to engage with folks and hear them just talk to us about their personal testimony because of these images that are up there. And so rather than explain to you what's up there, I just encourage people to go over. It's on the side of La Michoacana, which is off of Cesar Chavez Drive. And then another mural that we have going up is in Melvina Park. This one was a little different. The one on Cesar Chavez is a mural that's on the wall. But the one in Melvina Park is part of a redesign of that entire park. It's in the middle of a very residential area. And so shout out to Yvonne McCaskill, who is really taking the lead and pulling in many partners and many residents to determine what that design would be. And thankfully, she also pulled in True School to help with some of that decision making. And ultimately, we also got to work with residents around there to see what kind of imagery they would want to see in a mural in the park. So the city is actually installing these frames, and the murals that our artists created, they will be installed onto those frames in that park. So yes, we are downtown, but we're a citywide serving organization. And I think that's a really important piece of what makes us effective as far as our mission goes.
Yeah. How does it feel to have you know, the community impact. Like I was just thinking as you was talking, I was visualizing y'all going through and just engaging with folks from both communities, the Malvina Park area and, you know, over there off of Cesar Chavez. How has it been, like, you know, just thinking about talking to folks and seeing like some of the things that from their past or some of the things that from the neighborhood that they want to add that is important that may not be there anymore? Have you had any of those conversations? Like, yeah, man, used to be an ice cream store right here.
Naturally.
You put that in the mural?
Yeah, you know, one of the things that happens often is the community comes out and they just start talking, tell these stories.
Yeah.
We were at an event at Malvina Park, for example. You just maybe have a flashback of the park that we're doing this installation and that Shalina is talking about. Soon we'll get a community invite. Everybody will get an invitation to that installation. I can't remember the name, but there's I guess a legend, maybe even an NBA player, somebody super legendary from Milwaukee used to hoop on that space. Okay. So it was somebody who came out and was telling us, do y'all know who used to play ball on this court? And he told us all these stories. And you know, do y'all know where y'all standing at? And, you know, so it's always a blessing to, you know, get that real fabric of the community and then bring those conversations up and make them purposeful, eventful as far as storytelling. That legacy is important. And then how could it go into a public art piece or public communication that helps people see themselves in the public art, see themselves in public policy as was being spoken on before. How can some of these important issues be brought out in different communication ways? Yeah, nothing feels good when I'm going through certain neighborhoods and I know the history of some of the neighborhoods. It feels so good to see like pieces of that neighborhood on a mural versus just like a random person just running in the wind or something. You see something representing wherever you at, whether it's, you know, one of these small ones over here or somewhere deeper on the south side. But I like that. So thank y'all for doing that too.
Other cities are still in our model, right? Like, I'm going to other cities. I'm starting to see that, man. I'm seeing like this collaboration around hip hop and then this collaboration around public art, and I'm like, dang,
they do come in here.
I know they better not be trying to pass us up.
You know what? I'm not going to accuse anybody of theft, but what I do want to say is we are committed to be centered in values and be an example of good practices. So
absolutely,
if our good work as a city, as an organization, as you know, the great honor of being in a leadership role is having a ripple effect of good amongst others, then I'm happy about that.
Right. Imitation is flattery, right?
Yeah, we got a lot to learn too.
For the right reasons. That's true. All the time.
Especially from a city level in terms of the resources and what could be possible with investing in creativity. From an educational level. You think about these school systems, what could be possible if we invested in creativity and we invested in art and design the same way we invest in sports. No shots at all you sports people, but I'm just
all good. It is what it is, right?
We could do
work with us.
Important
at the same time. We could do it all.
Yeah.
We might have to share a little bit. You know, we might have to divide the pie a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Can we dive into what some of the, you know, sometimes we have conversations on the show or out in the community, and there is a hesitation and engaging young people authentically and fully with what they really need and to support them right now. And it creates a reverse of people being afraid of young people. Can you talk about like what is it that young people need right now when we have a community that sees these images on social media of you know, they see street takeovers, they see, you know, people doing things that they're not supposed to or whatever it is, and it just kind of reminds me of some of the old fights we used to have. I don't know if y'all remember that gang ordinance back in like the mid 2000s with Bob Donovan, and I remember, you know, being advocating with y'all as a young person, like we don't want this. This doesn't help us. And then just thinking about like, okay, it's 2025. It's 20 years later. I just had my 20-year high school reunion. Like, you know, what do people need today? What do young people need today that sometimes people miss?
Jobs.
Facts.
I mean, jobs, 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 some more jobs, some more year-round jobs, some more jobs, some more paid opportunities, some more jobs. Can we get some more jobs around here, guys? Some more jobs, please.
Absolutely.
Nothing stops a bullet like a job, they say.
And y'all have summer jobs for young people.
Yeah, we do. We do. You know, young people need everything that adults do.
Jobs.
No, literally. The economics piece is it can't be overstated. But at the same time, they also need to be heard. They need to have decision-making opportunities. If you want to solve a problem that looks like it's at the center of young people, bring young people in to help solve that problem,
Mm-hmm.
and pay them back to jobs, pay them, which is essentially, what we're committed to. If we're asking young people to give us their talent and be thought leaders, then they should be compensated for that. And so we work really hard. And it's funny because I do know that sometimes people push back on that, like young people should just want and that, but we're at a time when we have too many needs to just look at our wants. And so young people do need to eat. They do need clothes. They do, like, housing is an issue for the whole community. Yeah. It's not, you know what I'm saying? So how are we going to ignore that one critical piece that's centered around the need for economics? But, on top of the economics, it is about emotional wellness. It is about having authentic adults that do care about you and that are willing to listen. They have resources, they have information, they have some protection and leadership that they can and should pass on to you in an unwavering way if you're committed to protecting young people. Right. But at the same time, we need to remain students of young people as well. We need to be able to let them tell us. So, we can look at young people as a city as a whole and say, what do they need? But we also have to make space for a young person to say, this is what I need within that scope as well. And we see that come out in the arts. We hear it come out in the music, even in like the visual art that they tend to make. So much of the unique personalities and lived experiences and just like intricate thoughts of what each individual young person is going through comes out in that creative process. We know who got their heart broke. We know who's on fire trying to get a job. We know who's trying to start their clothing line. We know, for better or for worse, we kind of have an idea what's going on with each young person because of what they are creating. You know what I'm saying? So we have to be students. We got to be paying attention, and then we have to rise to the occasion. One thing I love about the way True School is set up is that the young people come in at 14 and they can stay through the entire high school career. So, we see what they're dealing with at 14 and what their needs are. And sometimes the needs are not like, oh, this person needs new shoes. Sometimes we're like, oh, this person lacks confidence. So they need support finding their voice and being able to communicate and build community on their own. And so now we see a young person start to develop confidence. Now they have friends at True School. Now they got a crew they're building with. Now we have a new need. What's the next need? And so, what we see, and especially like you mentioned Unfinished Legacy before, what we see is
Brema. Big shouts out to Brema.
Brema and Jean for sure. That now they're coming back to support us. They're coming back. They're doing workshops. They've given monetary donations. Jean popped up to the event this weekend, like just to show up and show support. And they also offer mentorship to students who are interested in
jobs.
In jobs.
Right.
That as well. So
yeah. I knew it was big when I saw I was on some social media platform and I saw the game with an Unfinished Legacy shirt at his party.
Yeah.
That's huge. Yeah.
But we have alumni who are like teachers and educators. And so it's, we have alumni who are muralists in the city and who are working in different roles of advocacy as well. And, the long list of alumni who are in this city, I think is super important because we're just going to continue to build on that. And it's not just True School. There's other organizations, folks that have like stayed in the game. And so like, this is the next leadership that's going to be sitting in the seats that we're in.
BRUESKOOL.org. Right back to finish up this break. My bad. I know David was out there. Yeah, all right. So we're going to come back with this radio interview with True School on Be a Voice Radio. See you in a second.
All right, welcome back to City Voice Radio with Wisconsin Voices. BOWEN, BRYAN Sanders here at UNLV at 1645 FM. All right, y'all, you know what thing I did like before you talking about the visuals that they make? I know you see a lot of stuff that they probably sit back and realize, wow, I created that, like the subconscious releasing things that they don't even know that they're just keeping in their head, you know, in the back. And then our subconscious just, you know, you probably see some of the greatest work from things that they didn't even know they had in them that was affecting, or that was a big piece in their life that they put on paper. So I was thinking about that when you talking about the visuals that they intentionally put on there. I was also thinking about the subconscious stuff that they drop on paper, and because the subconscious mind is amazingly powerful. So
no doubt.
We often talk about how a lot of the most powerful and impactful things that they release, they may not make it to the canvas for the gallery. They may not make it to the stage for the showcase, but exactly what you're talking about throughout the process. Students come for a 10-week after school session 2 times a year, and it's a free after school session. And we just require that a commitment of attendance from a young person ages 14 to 19. Now I'm giving y'all the rundown of what it takes to get your young person engaged, involved in this fall session coming up. The orientation is October 6th. That's a Monday. Our after school sessions go Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays until December 11th. So 10 weeks. They're working together, collaborating, working with us and our community partners to develop a showcase and a gallery that be presented to the public. And a lot of that great content and a lot of the messaging, the leadership, it comes out through the art and through the music and the media that you'll get a chance to see. We invite the community out, and we don't isolate the young people that we work with from their families or from their tribes or from their communities. You know, we don't see it that way, and we look at it as a family. And so, you know, to your point about what do young people need, you know, I was going to say love, 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 but then you just, you know, said all the love unpacked. But then I think that's what it comes down to is, you know, young people understanding that there's a family, a network of families within all these community-based environments and organizations that really care and that really have a safe place for them. And if it's not True School, that's a great place. We know other organizations we can help point them to. Maybe they're not a creative artist into digital media and hip hop culture. We know if you tell us what you're into, we know where you can go and get your young people some support and get them some love and get them some safety and resources to help them go to that next level.
Nice. I like that.
That's amazing. So parents out there, young people out there,
yes,
they want to tap in. They've seen y'all social medias are popping. So they've seen it on social media. They've seen some of the things out there. As long as they attend the orientation, they got a shot to get in the program.
Yes, and they can go to trueschool.org and do the pre-registration so that they can get lead up reminders and information from us about the session. Again, just to reiterate what Fidel was saying, it's a 10-week session, 3 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, 5 to 7 p.m. It is a commitment to start and finish the 10 weeks and to come 3 days a week. We have a list of classes that they can take, everything from music production, DJing, breakdancing, visual art, MC, poetry, spoken word, mixed digital media, which is videography and photography. And then we have live band and performance. But every single young person has to do the knowledge. So on Mondays, we're doing true knowledge, and we get into information around maybe mental health, maybe environmentalism, a lot of civic engagement, voter education. And this is really where we lean on our partners from around the city to ensure that the information they're receiving is really relevant to what's moving in Milwaukee.
Right. Very dope. Very dope. And then are there certain things that parents should look for, young people should look for? It's like what sparks them to get involved in a program like this? If they're not familiar, I usually tell parents if they have young people that haven't been engaged at all, right? They pretty much go to school, they go home. They go to school, they go home.
Or we get a lot of homeschool students. We get a lot of students from around the areas, the outlying areas that may not be in the city, and they may not get that experience of the vibe of the city. And so it's a wide variety. You'd be surprised. I would say another thing is, we get a lot of those creative students referred to our organization counselor or a teacher might see a student that's always doodling, drawing off to themselves on a creative side, but they just need a space for it.
Yeah.
They always drawing on their clothes and they doing something creative, but they just need a stage for it. Where do you put them? So those young people that you might see that's just in their room making beats with their headphones on all day and all night, where do you know, where's the space for that? Well, we want to help connect those dots. And again, if True School is not the container, we know within our network we'll be able to help provide that direction for those resources in the city. And we really proud of that as well. We're really proud of the collaboration and the network that we're able to establish. And as we look at it as a network of opportunities and options for our young people, opportunities and options for the families that really want to see their young people thrive in education and in creative entrepreneurship.
Very dope. Very dope.
I love that.
10 weeks long. This year has gone quick.
Yo.
This year has gone really quick. It's already September. We're halfway through September.
Yes.
If you got a young person, they could be completely different by the end of this year going through this program.
Yo, for real. We seen it happen.
Absolutely.
We seen it happen.
Absolutely.
I love
The
the way you
power
put
of young
that.
people
Completely
in
different.
development.
Love that.
So y'all please spread this information, share it with people that you know. October 6th, mandatory orientation to participate in the fall cohort of True School.
Yeah, and we're located in the Ave, what used to be called the Grand, right on Wisconsin, below where TJ Maxx is. So TRUESKOOL.org is where you can find more information.
How many students can be involved in the program this year?
It's about up to 30.
Okay. And I've seen where, like, if someone has like you get an influx of young people who have a passion for it. And they like, if 40 show up, listen, we're gonna keep doing it. I've seen y'all make
and we know other people that's doing other great things. So we'll see to where they got room for you. Absolutely.
Second
shout out to all our
We got a methodology that works.
Right.
And then also, again, just reminding everybody that December 11th is an open family and community invite to support all of our work.
We'll come drop some more information when we come back and as we get closer to that. But appreciate y'all for having us, creating space for this conversation on these airways. These sacred, be airways. Real. We appreciate you. Time to go, Jermaine says time to go. So we'll be back tomorrow with a great guest that's in lined up. God bless y'all. Be safe. Enjoy the day.